Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode number 201. It's good to see everybody here on this Thursday, one of our five favorite days of the week, counting Monday through Friday. Today we're going to be talking about business development and entrepreneurship. I'm going to be probably playing a little CCR later for Sonya. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to. But good to see everybody. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks everybody for being here live. Matt, it's good to see you back in Florida. Arrived safely. How are you doing so far? Can you hear me?
I'm doing well. If you're asking me how I'm doing, I can barely hear you.
Okay.
Just keep talking a little bit. I'm going to see if I can adjust the speakers here. I'm not on a normal computer.
Okay, no problem at all. Hey, by all means, I want to remind everybody, if you're on the show today, we had a blast yesterday on episode 200. Thanks everybody for being there. We did some stuff today. It was a great time. Thanks everybody for being here live. If you've got a question, and Jeff's already asked a good question we're going to get to in just a little bit, and Lance Green asked a question before the show. He wasn't able to join live. We'll get to that question as well. And if you have other questions about business development or something like that, then I'm probably a little bit loud. I'm cranked up pretty high, Tommy, just to try to, Matt's audio isn't working so good. Is that a little bit better? Try to bring it down a little. So we'll get to those questions. If you have other questions, by all means, type them in over there in the chat box. Send them to us. Text them in 727-341-5599. Or you can also email them to me, mike@mattmaddox.com. And this is actually, I want to start with, because Lance took the time to ask this question, even though he wasn't able to be live on the show, which is pretty creative. He came on earlier and just popped the question in here. So I'm going to put it up. And the question he has is about when you're full of energy and passion, and like starting a business, you're a type A personality. How do you lead others in your business that aren't like you? Is there a way to overcome that feeling of constantly pulling dead weight? And I think I know what Lance is saying here. Matt, do you have any input on this, first of all, before I answer?
I'll let you go first because I can barely hear you, so I got to catch up reading the question.
Okay.
In fact, I can't. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you fine, Matt. Maybe we'll patch in on the phone. Anyway, yeah, we're having a little bit of audio trouble, Karen. Sorry about that. Hey, so one of the things that in leadership, especially in business, in answer to Lance's question, which is a great question, and we see this a lot, and it actually leads well into Jeff's question, which is the next one. But when you're a type A personality, and you're full of energy and full of passion, first of all, I think that you want to find other people, and this is where it leads well into Jeff's question. You want to find people that have similar passions and who want to do things, in a similar way that you do, and that makes it a lot easier. Of course, that's the ideal scenario, right? If we could find everybody who was as passionate about, let's say I'm going to create a business fixing guitars, right? A luthier, and just passionate about guitars. I love the wood. I love the sound. I love everything about musical instruments. And ideally, I would find people who are just as passionate as me, who work in that environment. And so I wouldn't be leading people that are resistant or feel like a dead weight. Now, that isn't always the idea. That isn't always possible, right? In other words, sometimes we can't get to a place where everybody that works with us or for us, everyone that we lead, doesn't necessarily share our energy and our passion. And so exactly like Carol just said, it's hard to work with people who don't understand your passion. I'm just going to check real quick. Matt, can you hear okay now?
I actually can't, but that's okay. I get the question. So whenever you're done,
okay.
I can hear you a little bit, so I can tell when you're done. I'll pick up and answer this question. Can you guys hear me good?
I can hear you, yeah. So to continue, Karen, you can't hear Matt? I know he's a lot quieter than me. And unfortunately, I'm trying to balance out the audio so he can hear me as much as possible. So, and anyways, to continue on with the answer to this question is that you're not always able to get the people who are as passionate, about what you're doing as you are. And one of the things that I've always said, and I like the way he says it, you feel like you're pulling, but one of the things about leadership is you really lead with a rope and not a pole, right? You can't push people, you have to pull them. And so a lot of times you just set an example, and by setting an example, through your energy, a guy like Matt, being around him, you get energy and you get passion just because it's contagious. And so when you have a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and you lead with that, I think a lot of times people are hesitant to really let their passion, let their personality, out in a business scenario, right? But remember that businesses are always about people. And so it's okay to be passionate. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to let your personality out and motivate people and engage people, to engage them in the passion that you're involved in. So hopefully that'll help pull them along. And you really have to pull them. You can't push them. And that's just a subtle mindset that we have to have about leading people, pulling rather than pushing. So now, Matt, if you can hear me at all, go ahead and what's your take on this question?
That's actually a really good question, Lance. Very good question. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I am a type A personality. I'm extremely driven, extremely high energy. I like to go and get it done, and, I expect those that are working along in our business to be the same way, even if they're not type A personality. See, you don't have to have a type A personality to have passion. You don't even have to have a type A personality to have energy. And you definitely don't have to have a type A personality to get work done. So I think in the beginning, my friend Lance, is people that are not like you are actually a gift. I don't want people like me. I want people with my same drive and passion and get it done mentality. I want people with my same values. But I actually want people that are, maybe more administrative, maybe more detail-oriented. So while somebody's taking care of details, it doesn't look like passion. But if they're executing, if I say I'd love to have it done by Tuesday and they get it done Saturday, or I want it done by Thursday and they get it done Tuesday, that kind of stuff, even though that doesn't look like they're exuding a lot of passion because they're taking care of details, so is there a way to overcome the feeling that you're constantly pulling dead weight? At the end of the day, you're only as strong as your team. Those closest to you determine your success. So in business, the life and death of your company is the people that work for and with you. So that's why you've got to be insane about the hiring process. You've also got to be insane about the firing process. You've also got to be quick to cut the cord. If someone's dead weight, you got to be quick. I mean quick to say, look, I'm going to give you one last chance. See, business is business. Most people don't have the ability to have the tough talks with their managers or their sales leaders or their sales team. Most business leaders, not most, some business leaders out there are afraid of conversation. They're afraid of just straight, raw, candor communication. You're going to struggle in business unless you outsource this and you delegate this to someone else. You're going to struggle in business if you can't sit down with an employee, look eye to eye and say, look, I'm going to be very honest. I like you as a person, but you're slowing our business way down, and here's why. I'm willing to do whatever I can to help you. Let me know what I need to do, but your performance must go up. So at the end of the day, you should have high expectations. Your environment should be a get it done, let's work, let's not play around, let's not horse around. When it's time to have fun, let's have fun. When it's time to work, let's put our heads down and get it done. And then if someone's dead weight, Tommy or Lance, you either motivate them, maybe they're dead weight because they're in the wrong department, maybe they're dead weight in this area but would blow it up in this other area. So that's a possibility. You don't want to just throw away good people, especially if they're loyal and they have good work ethic. If they're just not producers, They might be in the wrong lane. They might be in the wrong area. But at the end of the day, if they're not producers and they don't have work ethic, if somebody doesn't have drive, if somebody is not like sweating it out, trying to get better and do better, they're probably the wrong fit for a type A personality leader. You know, people that work for a type A personality have got to understand that type A people, they don't like excuses. They don't like a lot of like small talk. They just want results. They want it done. They want it done right. They want it done earlier. You know, I mean, I could talk a lot about this in my opinion, but, you know, I hope that helps Lance, you know, a little bit, because I know we got a lot of questions, so I don't want to spend a lot of time here. But I would love, Mike, for us to come back next Thursday and even maybe go a little deeper in this, how to relate to a type A boss, and then how can a type A boss motivate the timid people, the people that, you know, break into ulcers over any type of correction. You know, and this is something you do in the very beginning. I've learned, whether it's in parenting or dating, and this especially applies to being a boss, the earlier that you can identify expectations, the easier it's going to be for you. If you see, they say delegation without direction leads to frustration. A lot of times type A leaders don't communicate well because they're so way out in their big vision. A lot of times it's your own fault. I'm not saying you, Lance, me. I've been there. I've been there as a type A leader where I had expectations that were not communicated. So when they weren't met, obviously being type A, I was frustrated. I was irritated. But it's my own fault because I didn't communicate properly. I didn't really give them a clear lane to drive in. And that's important as well if you're a type A leader, to slow down and do the non-sexy work of communicating the tedious details of like, hey, I need you to do these 5 things. Do you have any questions at all? Because I want these done by 5 o'clock today. You know, most leaders just, you know, that are type A just expect everyone to get it. And not everybody does get it. You know, very few of us can actually see it. You know, unfortunately, there's some people they got to be told what to do. You know, it's like,
well, you know,
they're not type A or not used to executing, and you got to just train them. You got to work with them. You got to motivate them. You got to push them. But anyways, Mike, go ahead.
I was going to say that there could also be people that completely get it, but they don't understand the expectations. And so that's where expectations and communicating those expectations are such an important part of that relationship, because you could have an extremely high performer that is able to do, you know, amazing things, that has a strong work ethic, that has vision, but they're shifted off 21 degrees, right? And so they don't meet the expectation of what, you know, as a type A leader, that person is looking for. Really any leader, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a type A leader, but any sort of leader may be expecting a certain thing, and the person that's executing could be, like I said, off 21 degrees and just slightly missed the mark. Even though they executed massively and they executed perfectly, they executed the wrong thing. And so that's where setting expectations are critical. And I like what Pacey said too about sometimes someone's dead weight is simply, as Matt said, they may be in the wrong lane. They may be trying to do something they're not a good fit for. And so cutting them loose may be a good way to enable them, empower them to do something they'll be successful at. I want to grab. Go ahead.
What?
Jeff had asked a question, and this relates, and we covered some of this, but recruiting skilled people or talented people, what's your take on that?
How to recruit skilled people?
Yes.
Well, number one, you know, and I know Jeff gets this because he is this, but understand skilled people will never work for mediocrity. They won't. They will not work for people that don't have the goods. And I see this all the time. I'll see leaders like, I can't get anybody good to work for me. And I want to say to them, and if I was their life coach, I would want to say, look, man, the reason why they don't want to work for you is because you're a turkey, they're an eagle. You know, eagles aren't going to work for turkeys. They're just not. They're not. They're too good. They've got skills. Listen, that you can blindfold them, drop them off in any city in America, and they can get a job. They're skilled. They've got the goods. Now, so you've got to become what you want to attract. It's like I was doing some live coaching with a guy yesterday who's a single guy wanting to find his mate. I said, let's get clear on what you want, right? So we got clear, went through like 30 minutes of him finally getting clear what he wants. I said, now, what do you have to become to attract this kind of girl in your life, right? Because the bottom line is, until he becomes the type of man that's going to attract this girl that he's got this big, long list of what he wants. Same thing in business. Like, what kind of leader do I got to become that people want to follow? What kind of leader do I got to become that skilled people want to work here? If you're a control freak, if you're a micromanager, a lot of skilled people don't want to work for those kind of people. Skilled people like freedom. They like to be able to do what they do. So how do you recruit them? You shoot for the stars, man. Somebody was talking to me the other day actually about hiring somebody. They said, should I casually go about it? I said, no, go the empowering route. Like, look at them and tell them, I want you working for our company because you're so phenomenal and so good with people that, you will take this company to the next level. Like, skilled people, powerful people, gifted people, they want to feel empowered, Don't ever insult them. Don't ever, belittle them. Recognize that if you're going to have skilled people, like what I believe is you should try to hire people that are better than you. It takes a confident leader to do this. It takes a confident business owner and manager to find people that are actually, because remember, those closest to you determine your success. So you actually want people that are better than you, more skilled than you, and celebrate their success, celebrate their talent, celebrate their popularity. Listen, maybe everybody in the company is going to love the new manager because he just knows how to connect with people. Look, man, and maybe you're not that great at connecting with people. So the manager might have more quote-unquote popularity with the boss. But boss, if it's bringing you more dollars, my friend, let your ego out the window and take the money. You know what I'm saying? So don't allow your ego to keep you from pursuing after skilled people that are better than you. So how do you go about it? You go out and you look for them. They're hard to find. You have to search them out. You have to seek them out. You have to take them to dinner. You have to take them to lunch. You have to, raise the bar on what you're looking for. And you got to hire because skilled people don't want to work with a bunch of average, lazy, mediocre, non-producing people. So you got to make sure that you've got you've got other good skilled people that they will enjoy working around. So that takes, hiring the right people is probably 90% of your business. You can't rush this. You've got to find the best. To find the best, you've got to treat them the best, and you've got to surround them with the best. And, that's Mike. I mean, we could go a whole month on employee morale and how to motivate employees, how to keep employees happy. But as far as, recruiting skilled people, obviously, from a practical standpoint, Craigslist, I don't know specifically what job this is that he's trying to recruit, so that would help a little bit knowing. But, Mike, you have a different take on this, or an additional take that is?
Sure. So looking at the word recruit and how do you find the people skilled scenario, of course, my professional bent is very technical. And so I can certainly speak to the technical skilled set. There's also other, types of talent that, skilled people that you can recruit, skilled salespeople, for example, whatever. I would say one of the best ways to recruit skilled people is to find someone that's skilled, even maybe somebody that you can't afford or someone that's beyond your, the skill set that you're able to bring on board, and try to get referrals, because there's nobody that knows the skills more than the people who have the skills you're seeking, right? So in other words, if you want like just an absolute top-notch, best graphic designer that you can afford, you seek out like the very best the best you can find, and ask them, hey, do you know anybody, right, that's up and coming, that you see, talent in them, and they have skills that you think would be applicable, and look for that referral. I think that's a great way to Maybe you're looking for a top-notch, just genius programmer, right? Get around some high-level programmers and ask them for a referral. And I think that once you make the initial connection, I like what Matt said, and just to clarify a little bit, at least the way that I see it, having worked for years in industry as a quote-unquote skill player, money doesn't really motivate long-term, but appreciation does, and so that's what keeps skilled employees happy is like Matt said, freedom. If it's a technical skilled person, toys keep them happy. Straight up, it does. Give them new computers, and then appreciation. If you appreciate them, and the way to get them on board is really to cast a vision, because you want to have vision in front of somebody. People that are skilled that can go to work for anybody. How do you recruit them? I mean, you want to give a vision in front of them. Say, here's what we're doing. Here's our big ideas. Right? And if you don't have big ideas, then why are they going to want to work for you? I mean, they can go anywhere. Most likely, if you're trying to recruit skilled people, you're not going to be able to compete on benefits and pay package necessarily with a large, health insurance company or whatever, what they could offer. So you want to give vision. You want to bring that so that they can get excited about working for you. And if you don't have a big idea, then you should probably get one.
If you don't have a big idea, yeah, people follow vision more than they follow money, believe it or not. Money is like third or fourth down the list, believe it or not, what people are looking for when looking for a job. So remember that as a CEO, as a manager, that there's actually a deeper need that people have even more than money. I mean, some people obviously are motivated by money. That is a factor, but it's not number one. It's number 3 or 4. Number one is vision. Purpose. If people don't find purpose and vision, if they don't, like Mike said, if they don't see a big dream or a big vision and they don't see how they can contribute, they're most likely not going to join that team. And then a feeling appreciated. There's too many good people that are working for companies that are making them feel this small, that don't feel appreciated for what they contribute and what they do. And that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy that companies lose good people because of this reason. To think that you lost one of your star performers for one reason, because they didn't feel appreciated.
It's good. Hey, so got another question about books that came in that I've got down below. I hope that answers your question, Jeff. Thanks for asking, and also thanks for being on the show. Appreciate you, my friend. So, I was actually thinking about I don't know if you subscribe to this. I get Darren Hardy daily motivational text messages. Thanks, Mary. You're on the show. Thanks for sending me the link to that. And just one of the weird stats, I don't remember if it was today or yesterday, but he said that the 5% and the 95%, and this is something he learned from Brian Tracy apparently, that the 5% of the most successful people, one of the biggest differentiations between them was that the 95% of the less successful people spend more time on entertainment, and the 5% of successful people spend more time on self-improvement. And I was shocked that the 95%, Americans spend an average of 8 hours a day on entertainment today. 8 hours. And I was shocked by that. And a question came in about what books we're reading right now. So I thought about that in terms of self-improvement. Do you have any business books that you're reading right now that you'd recommend?
Yes. Speaking of books, okay, I have told my son that I will give him $10. $10. You ready for this? $10 for every book he reads. Literally. I said, now, you're going to give me a little report on that book. I'm going to ask you what you learned, so he knows. Caleb knows he doesn't fluff. There's no fluff here. It's legitimately reading a book. He gets $10. And I told him, I said, you know why I'm doing this? Because one day you're going to be paid according to what you read. The highest paid people in America right now, the highest paid people, read on average of one book per week. The average American reads one book or less a year. Now, friends, do the math. You become what you read and who you associate with. So why am I going to pay my son allowance to take out the trash or to clean his room or to fold the towels? Like that's stuff I'm going to teach him how to do anyways. But I'm teaching him a lifelong value that one day you're going to be paid or not paid. Say, Caleb, you want money? It's easy. Read. And I would tell any young teenager out there, any college student, any dad, any mom, anybody, you want to get paid more? Read more. Because the more you read, the more you will succeed. There's your quote for the day, my friends. The more you read, the more you will succeed. It is absolutely imperative that any business leader reads all the time. Read articles. In fact, Allie Carr, who's actually going to be on our show next week, was just telling me the other day, and she reads articles all the time, always asking me about books. And every time I've ever suggested a book to her, she buys it. And that's how you need to be. You know, I've never met a successful businessman that doesn't, I mean, I have. They're few and far between. There are a few that are very successful that don't read. But they might listen to audiobooks. They might watch YouTube videos. I mean, you know, Mike, if I'm going to advise any businessman out there, I would tell them you need to watch every episode on Shark Tank. You need to watch every episode of The Profit. You need to be watching Fuel for Success every Thursday. You need to be watching YouTube videos of motivational speakers and coaches, and you need to be reading the best business books. So you know where I always start? There's a reason why there's a New York Times bestseller book. So I always read business books that are on New York Times bestseller list or that are like on the bookshelves as the number, you know, like you go to Barnes and Nobles, they'll have they'll have one bookshelf that are like the best sellers of business books. So I read a lot of those. I read books that, you know, what am I reading like right now at this very moment?
Sure.
Well, I'm reading about 15 books. In fact, I'll show you a picture, okay? I went to Barnes & Noble's the other day, and this is how I roll at Barnes & Noble's. This is fun. Because, well, one book I'm actually reading as we speak that I almost read the whole thing on the plane was Brian Tracy's book on marketing. It's a phenomenal book, okay? So that's what Barnes & Noble's looks like for me. I'll go and get stacked. That was me 2 days ago in Barnes & Noble's. See that? What I'll do is, and that's T, by the way, friends. I'll go and I'll pick out a stack of books that look good, and I'll sit there for 30 minutes and I'll go through every book. And if it don't grab me, I set it to the side. If it grabs me, you ready for this? If that book grabs me by chance, you know, what'll happen is I'll start taking pictures of the book. That one right there, 25 Habits of Highly Successful Investors, the new toughness training for sports, body, mind, mastery, because I'm all about the mind, the champions of mind, because right now I'm training my son how to have mental toughness, you know, so the Speaker, Leader, Champion, really good book. So these are books that I thought, I'm going to read these books. So I don't buy them at Barnes & Noble's. I buy them on my iPad or I'll buy them off Amazon. I'm sorry, Barnes & Noble's, if you're watching. I love you. I hang with you. I buy magazines from you. I drink your tea, and I come visit your place, and I'm giving you a shout-out right now. I just personally don't buy my books from Barnes & Noble's. You feel me? Cheaper on Amazon, cheaper on my iPad. It's me. But I'm reading a really good book about marketing from Brian Tracy, who's one of my favorite people to read. That's a book that I'm currently reading as we speak. So your take, Mike. We got like a minute left.
So I'm actually reading 4 books simultaneously right now. And the one that's really kicking my butt is The Lean Startup. There's my Kindle. You can see that. The Lean Startup, actually just finished AWOL on the Appalachian Trail. Great book, but it's not about business. And everything by, actually, Pacey, it's right there. everything by Gary Vaynerchuk. I've read that, and actually just finished the first book. I read his books in reverse order. I read Jab, 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 Right Hook, The Thank You Economy, and then Crush It, and which whatever. That's how it worked out. And the $100 Startup, which was also good. I just finished that. So yeah. And what else?
Because almost daily, I did this to him yesterday. I just sent him this picture. I'm reading this right now. It's called Invent It, Sell It, Bank It. Didn't I? I texted it to you last night standing in Barnes & Nobles. I said, Mike, we got to read this week. And we're always doing that to each other. So we're never like able to get through all of our books. You know, I'm averaging probably a book a week right now. But I do a lot of audio books as well. I do a lot of YouTube. But I also read a lot. I'm a daily reader, and I think anybody that's in business should read daily, and you should read good business books. I think, Mike, because I don't have my iPad with me, maybe you and I, on our Fuel for Success website, should have a book recommended reading list. I think we'll do that for you. I think Mike and I will probably put our top, 20 books that everyone should read on all subjects, from health. I might give you my top 5 in every subject. I might give you my top 5 on health, family, relationships, business.
It's a good idea, and we'll link them up, and then just in the name of complete transparency, we'll link them to our Amazon account. So we'll make 80 cents if you buy one from our link. But so, which won't cost you any more, but it'll help support the show. So by all means, buy them from the link. And today you can actually go on fuelforsuccess.tv and click on the books tag, and you'll see everything where we recommended a book, and there's a link there. But this will be nice. We'll create a concise list for you.
Yeah. Of course, guys, if you're going to read a book, the #1 book you need to read over the next 3 or 4 weeks is Just Juice It. End of discussion.
Just Juice It. I got Carol's list. Carol's list is actually Go Dog Go and then the Lorax. No, I'm just kidding. She's a grandma now, so.
Thank you guys so much for your patience today. Again, today was a travel day. It's a little messed up. Sorry about the echo here. Wasn't able to get, so I had to stop by the, We're making it happen, though. It's all about it. That's entrepreneurship at its best, making it happen, right? We're producers. We make it happen. One day, Mike and I will do a show of all the real life behind the scenes of Fuel for Success, just as a gift back to you. You'll really get a good kick. You'll laugh hard, and you'll think, wow, those dudes really were committed all these years. Yes, we were, my friends. Hey, thank you so much for your time, your questions, your comments. Thank you. We will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. tomorrow for our show about family and relationships. Mike, I will tell you, even though I've got a boatload of work to do, it is one of the most beautiful days in Florida. I've been away from Florida for 6 hours, so expect a lot of execution on me, out of me, up until maybe 7 p.m. around sunset time, and then expect a disappearing act for a couple of hours. I'm just telling you that as a business partner, a little bit of accountability. Expect a little bit of disappearage tonight between the hours of maybe 7 to 9.
Hey, that works perfectly for me. We'll be down in St. Paul giving chili to the homeless about that time, so we've got a gap anyways.
Thanks, Uncle Lou. Good to see you, Uncle Lou. I know, Karen. Karen, when people ask me what book they should read, I just assume that they know that there's nothing more important than the Bible. I'm going by assumption. So I don't usually Karen, we gave you a big shout out yesterday, by the way. A big shout out. We love you guys. Enjoy your day, my friends, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Mike, we've got a long ways to go to get to episode 300.
Yes, we do. We'll be there soon, though. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much.
God bless.